Hi, I'm Bill McDonald. St. Joe's healthcare system believes that all citizens need to be informed about the important health issues affecting their daily lives. That's why we're proud to support programming produced by the Caucus Educational Corporation and their partners in public television.
Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by Wells Fargo, Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, making healthcare work, the New Jersey Education Association, working for great public schools for every child, New Jersey Council of County Colleges, New Jersey Manufacturers Insurance Group, auto insurance, homeowners insurance, and banking under the principle of stewardship. PSENG, committed to improving New Jersey's economy and strengthening its communities. And by Verizon Communications.
This is One-on-One.
When you first heard that they were doing Charlie Rose and Gayle King, didn't you go, what?
People like laughing at others, so I don't mind if the other is me.
See, you go right into the character. That's what it is.
I'm bringing families together a half an hour each week. Man, I'm doing something special.
And so I do feel successful.
Welcome to One-on-One. I'm Steve Adubato. Everything you ever wanted or needed to know about what's going on nationally with respect to healthcare and what it means to you, you're about to find out. Boy, I just put a lot of pressure on you. We got Larry Altman, who is Executive Director of the Horizon Foundation for New Jersey and Vice President, Office of Healthcare Reform, Horizon Blue Cross and Blue Shield, New Jersey. Good to see you, Larry.
Nice to be here, Steve. Thanks for having me.
Let's put this in perspective. October 1st, 2013. Big date. Open enrollment, healthcare, marketplace, exchange, if you will. Explain what it means, because there's so much coverage about this, so much media attention, but so much confusion. What changes? What does it mean to people watching right now?
Right. Well, I think first, your show does a great job of educating people. I think it's really important for all consumers to really learn more about how it's going to affect them. As you point out, October 1st is a really big day. That's the day that open enrollment, which means people can start signing up for some of the new health insurance programs that were created by the Affordable Care Act.
How?
Great question. So,
I got questions. I don't have answers there.
So,
they can sign up, but there's a process.
Yes.
Go ahead.
And for people that live in New Jersey, they'll be dealing with an exchange or a marketplace it's being called that's going to be operated by the federal government.
Because Governor Christie made a decision that New Jersey, as a state, would not manage the exchange. He said, feds, you guys do it.
Exactly. So we'll be working with the federal government, and it will be a combination of things. The main way people could buy is on a website. There'll be a website. I don't know the URL yet. They haven't announced that, but the federal government will be operating a website, and on there will be all the information people will need. It'll be applications for people to fill out. There'll be help available online, and there'll also be a toll-free number, a call center for people could call up for help in signing up for health insurance.
Okay, but as we do this program now, and Larry and I have been talking about this, and their company has been out front on this, and there's no reason to say full disclosure, because the reality is we are going to be doing a series of programs over the next year to 18 months in cooperation with a grant from the Healthcare Foundation of New Jersey, trying to educate people about this. So we're going to be into this for a long time. I will tell you, as we do this program in May of 2013, there are a lot of unanswered questions. But there are some websites out there, and the first one we're going to put up, why don't we put up the federal government's website? Why don't we put up that one first? Right now, as we do this program, Larry, you can't get all the information from that.
Right.
But what can you get?
That website will describe these exchanges or marketplaces that are coming. It also will give people questions to think about as they prepare. So to think about what are your health care needs? How much can you afford to pay for health insurance? Also, we'll describe some of the documents people may need in order to sign up. So, for example, you'll have to prove, obviously, your citizenship. You'll be asked questions about whether you have coverage offered through your employer or not, because that could determine what you're eligible. Also, questions about income people will have to provide, again, not yet, but in October, because there will be subsidies available. So these will be federal dollars available to help people afford health insurance. If your income's in a certain range. So just as a ballpark, for a family of four, if your income is between roughly $22,000 a year and $90,000 a year, you could be eligible for a subsidy to help you afford health insurance. So
family?
A lot of people.
What about a family now?
So that'd be a family of four.
Okay,
those numbers. An individual, would be a lot lower than that. Let's say between $12,000 and $45,000 or so of income. So there'll be subsidies available, and there'll also be products displayed on a website to help people shop. And in addition to being able to go to the government website, people will be able to go to the Horizon Blue website.
Yeah, put up that website and tell folks what's there.
So on the horizonblue.com website, there's currently information about some changes that have already taken place and what changes are coming with healthcare reform. It will talk about what people should expect, which new ways to buy health insurance. On the other hand, there are some factors that have been part of the healthcare law that could make premiums higher. For example, taxes and fees. Some of the products offered will be richer, which is good for, and by that I mean more will be covered, which is good for consumers, but it does add to the cost. So you just want consumers to be aware of that, to be aware of what they should expect to see. And then even in October, they'll be able to come to the Horizon Blue website and purchase products at that point also.
They can actually do that.
We'll be able to do that on our website.
All right, let's try this.
Too.
We keep giving out websites, and there will be some telephone numbers, but not yet. But here's the interesting thing. We want to assume, or you like to assume, well, everyone can just go to a website watching us on public television or Fios or where you're seeing us right now. What about for someone who watches it who says, wait a minute, I don't have access to the internet. Can you go to your local library and do it?
So two things. You could go to a library and get access to a computer and therefore use the internet.
Go ahead.
If you really don't have any access or you're not comfortable using a computer, there'll be the toll-free numbers that you mentioned. They're not available yet, but that will be a way people could really shop for, and get advice and ultimately make a purchase over the phone. You could also do over the phone a combination of mail, so they could send you an application you could fill out and mail it in.
Let me ask you this. You've been around this industry for a long time, and you've seen public awareness and public consumer education initiatives around all sorts of things. Have you ever seen anything, Larry, an initiative where public education and awareness has been this challenging?
I think that's a great point, Stephen. I think the answer is no. I think this is going to be a huge public awareness challenge. A lot of the people that will benefit from this are people that don't have health insurance. Now, some people are, a lot of them are working and very active, and they, may be very familiar with health insurance. But I think there are others, maybe people that have never had health insurance in their life or haven't had it for a long time. And for them, I think it's going to be a really steep learning curve to understand some of the processes you were talking about. How do you find out information? What website, what phone number, et cetera.
And they're the ones we need to get to.
Exactly. They're the ones.
Isn't that the interesting paradox here?
It is. We're trying to reach the people that are the hardest to reach because we need to get them into the system because we know people are healthier when they have health insurance.
And that they're the folks that the law was intended to reach in the first place, because as they get sicker and go into the emergency room, the cost of health care just drives up exponentially.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, people, if people are able to take better care of themselves, get preventive care, get treatment before it gets so serious that they end up in the emergency room, that's really, it's better for them, and it definitely saves money because the emergency room is a very expensive place for people to be getting care.
Now, your company is playing a role. The government is trying to play a role. The feds are obviously driving this to a large extent. We'll see what the state of New Jersey is doing, not just the governor's office, but the Department of Health and Senior Services. We'll see what's happening there. We're working with the Commissioner's office, Mary O'Dowd, there. The role of the media, your opinion as to what we need to be doing here.
I think shows like this of just getting the word out, getting people to start thinking about it. I think there's a little bit of concern, I'd say, among the federal government that is it too soon to begin because people can't sign up till October. You don't want to.
So we shouldn't be having this conversation right now?
So I would disagree with that. I think we should have this conversation now, and it needs to keep going and probably escalate over the coming months so that by over summer, September, even October, when the open enrollment period starts, when people can really go out and start signing up and go to the website or call the call centers and get information, I think that's where it's going to even require more education.
You can't just all of a sudden jumpstart it in the fall.
No, exactly. So I think we should all be talking about this now. I think the media has a big role to play in reaching a lot of different kinds of people and packaging it in ways that the consumer can understand and bringing in the consumer perspective. So you don't just have people talking about it.
It's not a one-way conversation.
Exactly.
Well, we look forward to continue to work with you and your team, and we'll be doing our programming. And we appreciate you coming in. Even though some folks think it's premature, we know it's not.
Right. Happy to be here, and I'm glad you're doing the program.
Larry Altman is Executive Director of the Horizon Foundation of New Jersey, Vice President, Office of Healthcare Reform at Horizon Blue Cross and Blue Shield, New Jersey. Thanks, Larry. Always a pleasure to talk to you.
Okay. Thank you.
This is One on One. Steve Adubato. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
If you would like more information on this program, or if you'd like to express an opinion, email us at info@caucusnj.org. Visit us online at oneonone.org, or find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Steve Adubato, Ph.D.
Back by popular demand, Dr. George A. Pruitt, President, Thomas Edison State College. How you doing, Doctor?
I'm doing very well. It's good to be here. Good to see you again.
Don't be telling me you've been down there for 30 years.
30 years. Time flies when you're having fun.
Still the same passion?
Yes.
Tell folks who may not know what Thomas Edison State College is all about. What's the brand?
We're the only college in New Jersey created exclusively for adults. The average age of our student body is about 40, and you have to be 21 to be regularly admissible.
And the number of students?
21,000. We're the second largest college university in the state of New Jersey.
And the primary, the courses range. I mean, if I was looking at the course catalog the other day, it's very eclectic. But are there certain courses or certain areas, specialties that you're noted for?
No, it's pretty comprehensive and broad, and we're very proud of that. One of the things that people are surprised to know is that we have our Carey Edwards School of Nursing is the largest school of nursing in the state of New Jersey.
Named after the former Attorney General, our
Yes.
good friend,
Yes.
actually a board member of ours, Carey Edwards.
Yes.
What's that connection?
Well, you know, it's kind of funny. You were asking about the history. And when I came into New Jersey on December the 1st, 1982, Governor Kane was governor, and Carey Edwards was his general counsel.
That's right.
And the old Board of Higher Education had approved a nursing program for us, but it hadn't been funded. And so I'm just banging around the State House trying to figure out how we get this thing funded.
Some things never change.
That's true. I'm still banging around the State House trying to get things funded.
Yeah.
And I went to see Carey, and I was explaining to him why this program was unique and important. It's a program for people who are practicing RNs who need to go on to get their baccalaureate degree. So it's a BSN program. And I began to explain to him why that was important. The nursing profession is moving to the baccalaureate degree as its entry-level credential. Yet our best and most experienced nurses in the States are all RNs, many of them trained in associate programs at community colleges, hospital-based programs, and we need to have that path for them. He immediately understood it, began to tell me about his wife, Lynn, who was a nurse.
That's right.
And he got it.
Wow.
And in Governor Kane's, in that budget, my first budget here, there was $240,000 added to fund the nursing program.
That's how it started.
And that's how it got started.
That's why it has that name.
That's why it's named after him, and it has grown to be the largest school of nursing in the state of New Jersey.
For those of you watching who do not remember the name Carey Edwards, a great Attorney General, a great Chief Counsel to Governor Kane, and a great friend of this corporation, the Caucus Educational Corporation, who was on Caucus New Jersey many times, our sister program, and we miss him a lot. Yeah. You brought me back, made me think of a lot of things. Let's do this. Talk about some of the interesting, we're going to be showing some photos. Some of the alums. Who is the founder of Curves?
Gary Haven.
Gary Haven. Give me the connection as we show the picture of Gary Haven and Thomas Edison.
Gary Haven's a graduate of Thomas Edison.
Looking right now at him.
He's a graduate of Thomas Edison, fairly generous contributor to the institution. Gary Haven was riding in a car with his mother when he was young, and his mother had a heart attack and died. And it changed him and affected him. And he spent years concerned and dedicated himself to women's health issues. And as he became older and a very experienced, accomplished entrepreneur, he developed Curves basically as a way to work on cardiovascular fitness for women. And he was a very successful entrepreneur. Curves has been a very successful enterprise. And he
come out of your place.
He came to Thomas Edison. He did his homework. He did his research. He wanted to finish college, and he knew he couldn't do that and stop his career and stop his business and his work. He was concerned about the quality of the experience he would get. And after doing his homework, he came to Thomas Edison. We did not know about him when he was enrolled until after he graduated.
Is that often the way it is, Doctor?
That is very often.
That people are doing what it is they are doing in their lives, but they are doing what they're doing at Thomas Edison to get the academic credentials they need. But because it's online, you're not interacting with them in that way, and then they go on and do great things. You're like, hey, she's ours.
Yeah, that happens all the time. Arthur Brooks, president of the Enterprise Institute, he's a graduate of ours. Ernie Gooden, who was the #2 guy at Hilton for many years and now runs the Los Angeles Convention and Visitors Bureau. He's a graduate of ours. There was a guy, and I'm blocking on his name, it'll come to me later. he was the first student ever to go through Thomas Edison simply through testing. He tested his way through the whole enterprise.
What do you mean?
You can earn, if you can demonstrate that you have acquired college level learning in a non-collegiate environment through your own study, through your work environment, through training, and you can demonstrate that you have acquired the learning that you would have acquired in a classroom environment, you can earn the credit for it by
taking tests?
By taking an examination or through some assessment. Myron Markowitz, I knew it would come.
Myron Markowitz.
There's a game called Mind Benders that he developed. Well, he's the creator of that game.
That's one of your guys.
He tested through the entire experience. He lectured on the faculty in some distinguished universities in Europe in physics. Brilliant man. So we have this huge diversity and quilt of students. The common thread is when you ask them, both the very successful people and the aspiring people, why you did this, why you came back at this point in your life. The common thread is it's unfinished business for them. And they will all tell you in some form it was just something they started, they wanted to finish.
You know, George, we talked to a lot of your colleagues, and you know that you've been with us on our panel discussions at Caucus, New Jersey. You're the only one from the unique vantage point who has an institution like yours. Some of them do some online things, but no one does it totally the way you do. With the changing landscape of higher ed, with the infrastructure bond, the Bond Act, by the way, you guys have a piece of that equation? Real quick, what is it?
Well, most of it is to build a new nursing school.
It is?
It is to build a new facility for our nursing program. You know, you're in Trenton a lot, and you'll recall right on the corner of...
what are we looking at? Is that?
That's the new building. That's what the new building's going to be. Yes, that. And it will replace a boarded up old apartment building, the Glencairn Arms, that has been abandoned for 25 years. And we're going to, so not only is there an important academic element of this, there's a great urban renewal, an economic
piece to this.
Absolutely. It's going to transform that part of our state capital. So we're very proud of that. One, it's a twofer. We get the benefit of the academic facility.
I'm just realizing now that I saw a piece on our sister program, NJ Today, announcing this. This is a big economic boon.
Yes, it is.
So here's the question. With this going on, with the changing landscape of higher ed, what do you see as the future of Thomas Edison State College?
No, I think it's a great future. It's exciting. That's why I've been here for 30 years. I mean,
it's not the same job, is it?
It's never been. I mean, this is probably my fourth presidency without leaving this institution, because this institution has continued to evolve and grow over the years. You know, back in the 80s, supported by Governor Kane's challenge grants, we came into the distance education field. Many of our students don't take online courses. You know, I push back at the press where they try to call us this online college.
What do you mean you're?
Well, there are a variety of methods. There are students that work with us through independent study, through learning credit, through prior learning assessment. What a lot of people don't understand, we have many students enrolled in other colleges and universities in New Jersey that want a classroom experience, taking courses to satisfy our degree requirements, and then they transfer them back to us. This nursing program, I mean, it's a great feeder, sort of a capstone for nurses that get their baccalaureate, their RNs at the community college system and then come on to finish it.
There's no one way.
There is no one way, and that's the key. The key is to provide a broad menu of high quality options so that the student can pick and choose and put together a learning strategy that makes sense for them.
So you don't like when they say, oh, Thomas Edison State College, oh, that's the online school.
Hate that.
It's just not true.
It's just not true. It tries to define who we are by what we do.
Put you in a box.
That's right.
Not true.
It's not true. It's important. It's one of our core competencies, but it's just one of them. It's one arrow in the quiver.
Dr. George Pruitt, President, Thomas Edison State College. The story is more expansive, more complicated than people think. And we'll continue to try to tell that story. George, we appreciate you coming on in. After 31 years, still got a lot of passion and energy because the job is just not the same.
That's true.
Thank you, George. All the best. We appreciate it. This is One on One. I'm Steve Adubato. We have fascinating people. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
If you would like more information on this program, or if you'd like to express an opinion, email us at info@caucusnj.org. Visit us online at oneonone.org, or find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Steve Adubato, Ph.D.
There she is, Kayley Cassidy, teacher of the deaf at Ivy Nursery, Mountain Lakes Early Intervention Program. Good to see you, Kayley.
Good to see you too. Thanks for having me.
It's our pleasure. Talk to folks about Ivy Nursery, exactly what you do, and as a teacher of the deaf, this whole early intervention initiative, why it's so important?
Well, the birth to 3 window, which is the age that children are in early intervention, is a critical language window. It's a window of opportunity. There's a lot of brain research that shows that there's neuroplasticity that only occurs during that point in life. That's why it's very difficult for adults to learn languages later in life, and children just seem to be sponges. They pick up on all that information. So our goal in early intervention is to educate the parents to be their children's best advocate and their best teachers in those early years. And at the Ivy Nursery, we've created a program for children with a hearing loss so that they can spend their day with professionals that understand the hearing loss, have been trained in using the technology, and just a really language-rich curriculum to get them off to a good start.
That's interesting. The Mountain Lakes Early Intervention Program. Explain the whole connection. Gail Dunlop Rubin and Dr. Laura McCurdy, founders of the Lake Drive Foundation. They actually won the Russberry Award for Making a Difference in 2011.
Yes,
This is
they
a
did.
whole area for them, and that's how I met them. Make the connection as to how they're connected to this initiative.
Okay, Laura and Gail founded the whole Lake Drive program and the Lake Drive Foundation, and even upon retirement, they've been huge assets to the program. So basically, the Lake Drive program has been around providing services for children preschool through high school, and we mainstream children into the Mountain Lakes Public Schools also. Right. And we had created the Mountain Lakes Early Intervention Program, has been around for a couple years, and Laura and Gail were instrumental in that as well. And the new baby was the Ivy Nursery program.
Which also won the award for Making a Difference as well.
Yes, it did. Recently we won the Program of the Year award from the New Jersey Speech and Hearing Association. We just got it this year. So
what makes
very
it so
exciting.
special?
It's the only program of its kind in New Jersey. There are no other full-day early intervention programs for children with hearing loss in New Jersey.
Why do you think that is?
Well, state funding doesn't cover the cost to run the program that we run and to provide the comprehensive services. We have teachers of the deaf, speech therapists, occupational therapists, physical therapists, a social worker, school psychologists, educational audiologists. We just have resources that state funding can't cover, and that's why the Lake Drive Foundation is so instrumental, because so much of the funding and what we're able to do is because of the generous donations that come through that foundation and what they've been able to put together.
But Kayley, children without hearing loss are also there.
Yes,
Explain that.
We have an inclusive model, so we have children with a hearing loss paired with children that do not have a hearing loss from the Mountain Lakes community. And like I said before, the Lake Drive program itself, preschool and above, they're part of the Mountain Lakes public school system. So I've had a lot of parents tell me, well, I know my child's going to be with children with a hearing loss all the way through high school because we live in a town where those children are integrated into our population. So why not start that great little community when they're 18 months old or 2 years old. And we also find that having hearing children in the classroom are great language models. You have a child that has a hearing loss, they get to hear a child that does not have a hearing loss developing typically. And we're finding that these children, hearing or with a hearing loss, are much more prepared for preschool than they were before. You would be so surprised if you walked in, they sit for snack, they line up, we have circle time, we sing songs, and they just are in these classroom routines, gaining independence, learning, talking, playing. It's amazing to watch what these little ones can do.
Kayley, just describe the interaction between the children with a hearing loss and those without. Describe what it's like.
Honestly, I don't see that much of a difference. I feel like when you walk in, it's like acceptance at its best. I feel like they've built their little classroom community and they're all friends and they just want to play with each other and learn together.
You don't see it?
No, I really don't.
That means they don't see it?
No, they don't. No, they don't. And I feel like it's the community we've built in the nursery program and with these kids. I just feel like we're all one big family. There's 2 classrooms. The kids from both classrooms interact with each other. Myself and the other teacher plan together. So it really is a great little group there.
When did you know that, first, that you wanted to be a teacher, and second, that you wanted to teach children who could not hear?
I would say When I was a student, I loved my teachers, and I think from the start, I can remember in 4th grade, I did a "What do you want to be when you grow up" poster, and it was a teacher. So I think that was kind of ingrained in me from a young age. And then I think just special populations have always been of interest to me. And when I saw the opportunity, I went to the College of New Jersey, and they had a 5-year master's program, and it was just so specialized. I felt like that population.
On teaching teacher who were
with hearing loss. Mm-hmm.
You were drawn to that.
Yeah, I was. I don't really know how to explain it. It was just something that sounded really interesting to me, and I got hooked. So I love it. I love it.
What do you get out of it?
I mean, it's, especially with early intervention, it's really a family approach. So not only do I get to build a relationship with that child, but I build a relationship with the family.
How so? Explain that.
Well, in addition to the Ivy Nursery program, we do home-based visits also. So once a week or twice a month, I'll go see a family in their home. So they're inviting me into their home. I'm down on the floor. I'm playing with their children, showing them how to integrate strategies into their routines. And it's, I mean, I'm spending an hour a week in someone's home with them and their child. I don't know how much more intimate you can get. You build a relationship. And
do you think that's typical for your colleagues to do as well?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, everyone on the team provides home-based services, and I think they would all say that that's one special connection that you make. And the great thing is, then we see them, there's parallels, because we see them at home when they're maybe 3 or 4 months old. We watch them grow, and at 18 months, when they're ready for the Ivy Nursery, we open up that door for them, and they come and they start learning social learning, things that can't be learned in the home. And you see the parents transition, you gain that trust, and you build that relationship with them, and then you watch them grow, and then you get to see them. You know, I've talked to one early intervention provider. She's now a preschool teacher, and how much she loves watching them now as they're 4, 5, 6, 7. When she was in early intervention and had them as babies, and see how much they're talking now, how much they're growing. It's amazing to see what they can do when they get off to the right start.
My team, I'm sure, is tired of me asking this. 1 to 10, how much you love what you do?
Oh, 25, 100.
There
I
it
don't know
is.
if the scale's high
You proved my
enough, so.
point. Thank you very much.
Thank
Keep
you
doing
so
what
much.
we're doing.
Thank you.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating 25 years of broadcast excellence. Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by Wells Fargo, Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, the New Jersey Education Association, New Jersey Council of County Colleges, New Jersey Manufacturers Insurance Group, PSENG, and by Verizon Communications. Promotional support provided by the Star Ledger and NJ.com, and by the New Jersey Business and Industry Association. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine. One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been produced in partnership with St. Joseph's Healthcare System.
New Jersey is a leader in solar power, and PSENG is doing its part. With 24 solar installations in New Jersey, projects that are giving landfills new purpose and turning former brownfields green. Solar powers more than our homes and schools and businesses. It powers our economy by creating jobs right here in the Garden State. PSENG, proud to support New Jersey.